All right, welcome back, boxing fans. This is Gfunk Boxing Talk coming to you live and direct from the 916. That's right, Sacktown. Stand up, baby. And I'm here with a special guest today, man, making his debut on my channel, the one and only Chicano Prophet. What's going on, bro?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm just outside enjoying this great California weather, man. It is beautiful out here, man.
It looks good, man. I'm glad you're enjoying things.
But you know what, man? Starting to get a little hot, bro. I don't know, man. This seat, bro, it's getting a little hot, you know? We got Renee Box Young in the house. What's going on, family? Thanks for joining us. Make sure you smash the like button, man. Uh yeah, the seat is warming up right now, man. But
Well, you knew this was coming, dude.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And you know what? I'm always ready, man. I'm always ready for this. So it's no big deal to me, man. But before we get started, I want if you want to plug your channel or any other social media, man, go right ahead before we get started, man.
Well, I have a very small channel. You see prediction pretty much whenever Canelo fights. So if you want to see a prediction every time Canelo fights, you can hop over, take a little look. Otherwise, you'll pretty much find me at the places you do, G-Funk's place, D-Styles place, just hanging out, talking boxing.
Right on, man. We got Black and Brown in the house, a Sacramento native. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, man. So here's the deal, man. Okay, here is the deal. My man Chicano Prophet reached out to me and he said, G-Funk, I want to put you on the hot seat, man. I think you're a hater on my boy Canelo Alvarez. All right, you see, I got the shirt on. All right, that doesn't mean I'm a fan, though, okay? I lost a bet, so I'm a man of my word, so I had to put the shirt on, man. Anytime I talk about Canelo now, I got to put the shirt on for the fans out there, you know?
You're looking good,
So,
G-Funk. You know, the Canelo store just got some red hats in. So if you're looking to coordinate your fit, you know where to go. Because that's what happens when you follow somebody who's a bona fide superstar.
I like it, man. Well, you know what? I am a betting man, so depending on who he gets next or in the future, we'll see, man. Maybe I'll put something else on the line, some more, apparel on the line, and we'll see, man. Maybe I'll be draped in a Canelo robe or a sarape one day. You know, I don't know.
Poncho.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, man, because we got little less than an hour because we got fights on tonight. So I want you to get everything off your chest, brother. Let's go.
All right, this is going to be therapeutic for me and the rest of the Canelo fans and the people who are based in reality. So I'm happy that you're going to allow me to talk to you about this. And I'm going to bring some things up. You know, it's only fair. Like you said, I got things to say. All right. You stand accused of being a Canelo hater, and you say that you're consistent. So I want to ask you some questions. You know, it's one of two things, in my opinion. One, either you don't understand that you're a hater, even though all your friends have told you this. So I'm going to try to clarify it for you so you can see the light and come back to the reality that we all know, right? Or you relish that position. You actually like pretending that you're not biased and objective just to stick it to the Canelo fans. And you've been doing this for years, but nobody's buying it anymore. And so I'm here to speak truth to power and make you answer for some of the things that you've said. And you said that you're a man of your word and that you're consistent. So I want to know if that's true. I want you to know that I've got receipts, and we can get it going whenever you want.
Oh, it's getting hot, baby. But let me ask you something first, okay? So your claim is that I'm a Canelo hater. So I want to ask you this. Do you feel like I have an intense or passionate dislike for Canelo?
Absolutely. That's obvious.
And that is according to the Oxford Dictionary, by the way, the definition of hate, that is. So, okay, brother. Hey, it's all yours. The seat's getting warm. Let's do this.
All right, sounds good. Okay, well, we're going to start. I don't even know where to start, but let's get started right here. You had a post-Canelo and Floyd fight video, and in this video, man, you were talking all kinds of shit. I can only assume that you made this video before you found the Lord and accepted him into your heart. So what I want to ask you is if you stand by a lot of the comments that you make, because you were making some very nasty things, talking a lot of shit about Canelo, and I want to know, to your recollection, you agree with some of the things that you said in that video.
I stand by everything I say, but one disclaimer I want to put out there is, was I being petty in that video? Probably about 80% of the time, I want to say I was being petty. And that's only because I was viciously attacked by these guys for years and years and years. They were attacking me on my channel just because I felt like I was giving my honest opinion on the guy. So when he took the L, of course I'm gonna come back at him. So, but yeah, I stand by what I say, man. So go ahead.
And even the production level was good on that video. Well, one of the things that you said on it, and you continue to say, is that Canelo got his ass whipped. I want to know if you stand by that comment.
Absolutely.
All right. So you think that he got his ass whipped. So I want to clarify, since you're clarifying what a hater is, let's clarify what you think is and is not an ass whipping. And this is all relevant to the Canelo argument. So let's get into it right here. I have a question for you. Do you think that Mikey Garcia got his ass whipped by Earl Spence?
That was an ass whipping.
Okay, sounds good. And the reason I want to ask that, and another question is, I want to know, and I don't mean to pick on you, and this will be the last time that we mention him, right? Do you think that Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. got his ass whipped against Oscar De La Hoya twice?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially the first time he got, man, that was a beating.
Okay. All right. So you're fair and across the board. So we're going to get into this. And these are some of the things that you've said. This is something that you said within the last year around the Kovalev fight. So this is not pre-fanboy, crazy prospect Canelo. This is right before the Canelo fight. You said, I'll tell you right now, since Gfunk has been on YouTube, I have not been a fan of any fighter. I'm a fan of boxing. Do you stand by that?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to get into it. So one of the things I want to talk about, the reason I mentioned Chavez Sr. is I think you have a real like for him. And I think that you have so much of a like for him that's why you don't like Oscar. And that's why you're a Tito fan, Tito Trinidad fan. But that's a whole nother subject. But that's why I think that you talked yourself into predicting that Chavez Jr. would beat Canelo. I didn't even know people did that. And I want you to explain yourself on that prediction.
You know why I made that prediction? Is because, and I did make that video, I think, with my brother. I want him to come back to YouTube so bad, Mr. Pound for Pound. Is that correct? Is that the video you're talking about?
You did, and he also told you were a hater to your face.
Yeah,
and,
yes.
If he can't convince you, I probably can, but I'm going to make the case.
He's a big Canelo fan, just like you. But no, I picked Chavez Jr. to win that fight because it was a cherry pick, man. It was a ripe cherry. He picked it off the vine or wherever it comes from. And anytime I see guys making that kind of cherry pick, I'm going for the cherry, man. I don't care if I'm wrong or right in that one. I'm going for the cherry. That's the only reason why I picked him to win that. Did I know he wasn't going to win? Absolutely. I absolutely knew he wasn't going to beat Canelo, but I wanted to pick him just because it was a cherry pick, man.
Okay, good. Because, I thought, wow, this guy is blind. But, I'm glad we can admit it. Like I said, this is good. You know what I mean? You're removed from that time. You're present. We know the date. And your opinions, you're starting to be a little slippery. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to kind of grab you down, and stick to what you said. But that's okay. We can get back into it here. One of the things that I want to talk about is you continue to mention Canelo's record. You tend to go over the losses that he had. And you still bring up the Trout fight all the time. You got to get over that, man. That's one thing. But you happen to always say that, right? But, when you were talking about Chavez Sr., you don't ever mention anything other than, and I quote, you said he was 87-0. First person to beat him was Frankie Randall. I want to know if you want to, like you put in asterisks with Canelo's wins and losses. I want to know if you have anything to say about that statement.
You mean, do I think that he lost before he lost to Frankie Randall?
Well,
should have had a loss?
No, I want clarification from you. You said every time that you mentioned Canelo's record, you mentioned the times that he's lost in your opinion, or there was some type of controversy. But with Chavez, he just gets that perfecto record until he loses to Frankie Randall when you bring it up. So I want to see some consistency if there is, or if that's your statement, that's fine too. I just wanted to get some clarification on that.
No, I think that you could definitely circle the Whitaker fight as a fight that you could say, Chavez was probably losing on the cards. And I think that I've said this before. I think that was a horrible stoppage by Richard Steele. Even though I was a big Chavez fan, I still think that was a horrible decision to stop that fight with just 2 seconds left. 2 seconds, but it is what it is. You could even go, what's the other fight? Oh, obviously, what did I say? Whitaker and Taylor. Yeah, those are the 2 fights that you could say that he probably lost and should have got the loss. I think that the Whitaker fight was closer than a lot of people think, but I do think Sweet Pea did win that fight.
Okay, good. I'm glad because you're just trying to be consistent here, and you don't play favorites, right? But speaking
Well,
of
that's
favorites,
different because I admitted that I am a Chavez fan, and that's prior to YouTube, so that is different. But I
prior
do
to
I do believe that Sweet Pea should have got the win. Yes.
all right, sounds good. Sounds good. And speaking of fans, when you were with your friend talking about all this, you said, speaking in regards to the Spence and Garcia fight, you said that you thought Spence would win, but you were rooting for Garcia. So presently, you do have people that you're fans of. Like you said yesterday, you were a fan of Crawford. So you do have likes and dislikes towards boxers.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I would say not towards the boxer themselves. I would say more of their style than anything. Like when I say I like Crawford, I mean I like the way that he fights. Like he's very intelligent. He can switch southpaw to orthodox. Uh, when I say a fan, I mean like a fanboy, basically. Like I'll make any excuse in the world to make him look good. Like I would never do that for a Terrence Crawford. I would never do that for a Mikey Garcia. Uh, they lose, they lose. I won't make excuses. But when I say I like guys, I mean I like their style, the way that they fight.
Okay. So I would like to talk about Mikey Garcia's career a little bit, and it's in direct relation. When we talk about Canelo, you consistently talk about how Canelo's done nothing at middleweight. I'm not buying this legacy stuff because the real fans, we know. And you think that he still has work to be done. My question is to you is how come you don't mention that Mikey Garcia had all kinds of work to be done at lightweight, didn't do nearly as much as at lightweight, and gets a pass from you?
That's a good point. A good argument. He was going through what was it, legal battles when he was down there at lightweight with Top Rank trying to get out of the contract and that type of stuff. I do think I did make I don't know if I made an actual video on the topic, but I think I mentioned it before on one of my videos about how disappointed I was that he didn't get that Gamboa fight. I was very disappointed that fight didn't happen for whatever reason it may be, whether he was ducking, whether it was promotional issues or whatnot. I was very disappointed in that, man. But Mikey Garcia's career is a little bit different than Canelo's, bro. Like he had a long break in between with this legal battle stuff. There was a lot of smoke there for him, though. You're right. There was a lot of smoke down there for him, and a lot of those fights didn't happen, and that's very disappointing.
Right. So there were 2 years in which Mikey Garcia was out of commission. So that puts them roughly around the same age, and it makes Mikey Garcia still older. And they both have been in multiple weight classes, multiple-time champion. They both try to go up 2 divisions to win a belt. So I think that we can continue to compare them. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. When you referenced Canelo, you said he's good, not great, B- fighter. With Garcia, you said he was special. Do you stand by those comments? I want some clarification if it's any different than those quotes.
No, I do think Mikey's a special talent for sure. What video was that I was saying Canelo was a B- fighter?
Back in the past when you were roasting the trolls when Canelo was
yeah. See, I was being petty. No, I think Canelo's he's up there. He's at the top now. At that time, depending on what year that was, I don't know. I have to go back and look, but I've always felt like his fans have given him more credit than he deserves, and he hasn't earned it yet. He's getting there now, though. He's starting to get there now with me. But back then, different story.
All right. And then another thing too is, and you've said this recently within the last year. You said, and you've criticized Canelo for having the franchise belt, and in talking about those types of belts, you said it's a disgrace to make up these types of belts for any combat sport. It's disgusting. Okay. One of the things that you said was one of the things that you haven't said is when Mikey Garcia fights for a WBC diamond belt against Jesse Vargas, it was nothing but radio silence and praise from Mikey Garcia fighting somebody who I didn't really think much of.
You didn't think much of Jesse Vargas? For real?
Not really at the time, no. And I mean, he was okay.
He's okay. He's how should I say this? I think he's the guy who he should have fought first at welterweight before Spence. He's that type of dude. But I honestly didn't even know they were fighting for a diamond belt. I had no idea they were fighting for a diamond belt.
You got crowned afterwards, man. You know what I mean? You were probably too busy celebrating after the win to realize it.
Maybe, yeah. I was popping champagne, bro.
Because about Jesse Vargas, he said, I can't take anything away from him. He comes to fight. He's tough. And you also classified him as dangerous.
For a guy like Garcia, definitely, yeah.
Okay, because he moved up. So there's a couple other things that I want to talk about regarding that. So my opinion is, you said that it was a good fight for Mikey Garcia because he did lose to Spence, and that when you take a loss, it's kind of good to come back with a fight, to kind of, get that win and kind of keep going. Okay. In your mind, you think, and let's, for argument's sake, say that Canelo did lose the first Triple G fight. Who do you think was taking on more risks? Canelo taking on the rematch after he lost in your mind, or Mikey Garcia taking on Jesse Vargas after he lost?
I would probably say Mikey Garcia
Took more of a risk against Jesse Vargas than Canelo against Triple G in the rematch?
Absolutely. Triple G was getting old. He was slowing down. It was pretty obvious after the Daniel Jacobs fight that he was not the same guy. So, hey, I mean, we know Canelo waited him out. I mean, let's not play around here, all right? We know Canelo waited him out. He was supposed to fight him after he fought Kirkland. Remember that? He was calling him out, and then it took 2 more years before he got in there with Triple G. So, yeah, that's definitely more of a risk. Garcia fighting Jesse Vargas than an older Triple G, a slowing down Triple G.
All right, man. Well, you're allowed to have your opinion, dude. You know what I mean? And so, waiting him out. So you're talking about like aging fighters. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to know why every time you talk about Mikey Garcia, it's always a pleasure for you to talk about how he could take out Pacquiao, considering that he's 41. He has had losses. I happen to actually have a lot of respect for older fighters who are reigning defending champions. But Canelo fights guys who are in their late 30s, 5 years younger, reigning defending champions, and it's a big problem for you. And I want to know if you have any clarification for that.
Well, who are these guys?
Triple G, as well as Sergey Kovalev. Well, that was plus you made you've made general statements that Canelo all he does is fight older guys. But this was so I'll let you clarify.
Well, he does fight a lot of older guys. I mean, that can't be refuted at all.
Right.
Now, as far as you said, I praised Mikey Garcia. I mean, I did the same thing with Terrence Crawford last night. I predicted that Keith Thurman would beat him. I mean, to Pacquiao's credit, he's proven me wrong. He's define time, as of now. But I think those guys stylistically, bad matchups, man. A guy like Mikey Garcia, Terrence Crawford, they're those guys are artists with the right hand. We know Pacquiao's a guy that can't get out of the way of a right hand if someone told him it was coming. So, right. I think it's a bad matchup. But Triple G, again, he was looking bad, slowing down, and that's why I criticized the fight. He was they waited for him to have a bad performance to get him in the ring. I mean, again, after the James Kirkland knockout, when everybody was on their knees praising Canelo for the knockout, even though James Kirkland's a guy who couldn't take a punch from a 5th grader. I mean, he was barking a lot. This guy right here was barking a lot. Triple G, I'm coming for you, but it took 2 years. 2 years, bro. What's up with that?
Well, he was in a lower weight class. That's a lot of good questions. You mysteriously dipped out of YouTube while Canelo was making his ascent, taking on real fights and building on his legacy. Hey, the timing, you have to let me know about that one. I'm not sure. I'll just leave that one there. All right. Anything to say about Kovalev in particular? I know that you predicted Kovalev to win, even though you did say that he was an older fighter. Good win, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a good win. I don't think it's as good as they tried to make it seem. They were doing the comparisons to the Henry Armstrongs and things like that. I think that's a crime to do that. But hey, that's the reason why I'm wearing the shirt. I predicted that I said, if he knocks him out, I'm buying the shirt. He got the knockout. I know there were some people, and we were on D-Styles channel, that we had a little discussion, a little argument about the finish to that fight. Some people thinking that it was fixed, things like that.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't think it was fixed. Although I do think that Kovalev's behavior during the fight and after the fight was a little peculiar for me. But no, it's a good win for Canelo, and that's the reason why I'm wearing the shirt, man. I'm a man of my word.
Nice. All right. So going back to you being objective and just calling things how you see it, I want to talk about your predictions as far as what's on the receipts. You have a standing record of 4-4 as far as predicting Canelo fights. And to me, that might show a little bit of bias towards not liking him. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, yeah, I know that that's the official record, but like I always say, man, you know, he gets the win when a lot of people don't think he deserved the win, man. Like the Lara fight is one fight that stands out to me. A lot of people think Trout beat him. I actually scored that fight a draw. There's some people, a minority of people that think that Cotto beat him. I don't think Cotto got the win. I think that fight was closer than the judges had it. But you know, that's what happens, man. So I mean, if that's the official record, that's the official record, man. But I'm always going to give my opinion and breakdown when I do a prediction on the fight, man.
All right, that sounds good. Well, you know, that was fun, dude. You know, that's pretty much all the main points I have outside of just wanting to talk about Canelo and just kind of what's going on in the boxing world. Thanks for letting me grill you. You know, you were really good at taking my questions. You know what I mean? And that was fun.
No sweat, man. No sweat. Actually, I shouldn't say no sweat. I'm sweating like crazy, man. This seat was hot, baby. Let me tell you, man. Since you're done here, you sure you're done, man? You got nothing else?
Well, I mean, there's things that I want to talk about, but that's done as far as me kind of like putting you in the hot seat, you know, and trying to put you into a corner and make you admit that you are a hater. Which, like I said, I didn't really expect to get that out of you. You know, I think you like that position. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, dude, you know, I'm happy for you to have your opinion in general, anyways. But that doesn't keep you from being a hater.
It's all good, man. You know, I've been doing this since 2011. So, you know, I know I'll be called a Canelo hater until the day I die, probably. But it's all good. Look at this comment. Gfunk was kind of insinuating it was fixed. Nah, I mean, I think that.
You said it was funny. I watched the video to replay myself.
The thing that made it funny to me was that, like, you saw the way that Kovalev behaved after he lost twice to Andre Ward. You know, he didn't want to accept it. You know, insulted him through the media, said he cheated with the low blows, things like that. He gets knocked out by a middleweight. And he's all smiles and Hallmark cards after the fight's over. And you know, that's suspicious to me, man. Like, why are you mad at this guy who was a legit light heavyweight, a champion at light heavyweight? He beats you twice, you know, once in the controversial fashion. Second time he knocks you out. Then you got this little guy coming up from middleweight, knocks you out, and you're just as happy as can be. You know, like, that's, to me, that's suspicious, man. That's the only thing I'd say was suspicious about the fight.
Right, because you were saying that before that there was no way he was going to be able to knock out Kovalev, and you haven't seen power against elite fighters, so to you it did look suspicious.
I mean, it hasn't shown up, man. I mean, here's why I always say that. Again, going back on my history here on YouTube, every time I predict a fight for Canelo, his fans will come on and say, "Oh, he's just gonna knock this dude out." Or if I say, "You know what about this guy? What if he fights this guy?" "Oh, well, for what? He's just gonna knock him out." "Yeah, so what? Like, you don't need to fight him." I'm like, well, okay, well, when the fight actually happens, guess what? It goes a distance. And the fight's close. The fight's controversial. A lot of people think he lost. So I'm just like, hey, where's the power? Like, where is it? It doesn't show up. But then he goes up 2 weight classes and boom, it's there, you know? So I understand why people have their ideas, you know? But when I went back and watched it, that was a clean shot. Clean as can be. Clean shot.
It was great watching your play-by-play. You were like, well, looks like Kovalev's going to win this one. Canelo needs a knockout to win. Oh, the joy was sucked out of you, man. It was pretty satisfying. I had to do that to kind of offset the Floyd Mayweather video that I saw.
I know I was pretty harsh on those guys, but you know what? Payback is a you-know-what.
Well, you know, I can see where you're coming from because, you know, I didn't really follow you back in the day. And, you know, if there were crazy fans that did believe in the hype, you know, I could see you being frustrated, especially if they are talking to you. So I could see it kind of being like a war. But, you know, I think that we're in a little bit of a different era now. You know, there's guys like me and No Paul, like, who I also think made very good points when he came on and talked about it. with you. There's lots of guys, now we kind of play up being a Canelo fan, but there's a lot of legitimacy to us, and we feel like, we've been silenced a bit. So now we play it up. But I think that he's done great things. I think he's done a lot at middleweight. I don't think that he needs to be micromanaged by any hardcore fans anymore. I think that he's gotten to a point where even the hardcore fans can't really agree what he should do anymore. He, in my opinion, there's no clear opponent for him to take that you all are in agreement with, because he's in 3 divisions.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, man. But I think, for me, my stance is this on the guy right now. Pick a division and clean it out. That's what I like to see. And that's why I have Terrence Crawford as my number 1 pound for pound guy, because, he's a champion in multiple divisions. But not only that, at 140, he cleaned it up. He became undisputed there.
Right.
So that's what I like, man. I mean, I know not everybody's for that, but that's what I'm for, man. If a guy says, you know what, we got all these belts in each division, you know what, I'm going after all of them. I want them all. I like that. I respect that. I appreciate that. So that would be what I want to see out of the guy. I know he's not going to do that, but that's what I would want to see.
No, I mean, I hear you there, and I'm in agreement with you. I actually would love it if a lot of fighters did that. When I was doing my research, you mentioned Crawford, and Usyk comes to mind as far as recent history, but there are a whole hell of a lot of fighters that barely even fought unified fights or had multiple belts on the line. We have a long history of people who haven't ever unified a division or ever became a lineal, and we're talking about them like they're all-time greats. So that's just something that I think that we should keep in perspective when we're talking about what Canelo needs to be doing next.
Yeah, again, recently he's been on the right track. Like you said, I took a little break from YouTube. I didn't get a chance to do a prediction video on the Daniel Jacobs fight. But that's a fight I thought he won clean, fair and square. You won't get any complaint about me about the decision. I felt like that was a clear-cut decision for Canelo. He deserved the win, and he got the win. Moving up to beat Kovalev, I mean, it looks good on the resume. I mean, we do know that he didn't give Kovalev a whole lot of time to recover from his last fight. And there was a quote-unquote rehydration clause. So, those are things to consider when we're looking at that W. But, he's doing good things. You saw I gave him his due when someone announced – he didn't announce it himself, but someone announced he was going to fight Billy Joe. And I said, and there's a lot of people that disagreed with me. A lot of his fans disagreed with me when I said, that's a good fight, man. I think it's a good fight for him. Billy Joe's a guy whose style will give him trouble. So, I gave him his credit, and I still got shit for it, Yeah. But it is what it is, man.
One of the things that I just kind of want to let you know, and this might be from other people as well, and I think Nopal might have said the same thing, is, initially for a while, I was not a Canelo fan. When I had heard about him back in the day, it was when Schaefer was kind of floating the idea that he might fight Mayweather, and people were kind of like, who is this dude? And then so I started to take a look at him when he fought on the Mosley-Mayweather undercard against Cotto's brother. That's the first time I'd seen him. And he got chin-checked. And that's all I needed to see. I did not accept this guy for a long time. It was up until about maybe after Mosley where I started going okay, well, this guy's got skills. And you had a lot to say about, his early career. But, in hindsight, if you look back a lot of the names, there's a lot of journeymen, former champions, gatekeepers, and he unified with Austin Trout, who was undefeated. And he did this all before he was 23 compared to, and I've been around for a couple generations, and I think I had a fair amount of knowledge of who was kind of around at that time and who's around at this time and, who was serviceable as opponents. I'd have to say that in hindsight, what he did by that age actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly up for discussion. And D-Style, if that's true, man, then, hey, I retract my statement then. But yeah, early on, I mean, things like the Matthew Hatton fight where he got his first belt. I don't know how anybody can defend something like that.
Right.
I mean, they move the guy up. Canelo doesn't make weight himself. And, that's just terrible, man. And it's terrible for the sport, man. It's terrible. That's just the way I look at it, man.
And you're right. It's one of those situations where Canelo does have the benefit because he's the cash cow. This is more of like a boxing thing, and I think Canelo, the benefits that he gets represents that kind of thing. So, to me, I'd say, maybe you should consider, hating the player, not the game. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Something like that.
Hate the game, not the player.
Something like that. You know what I mean? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Well, you know what? I'm the shot clock. I'm way above the game. But yeah, man. Honestly, I don't think I'm a hater of the guy. I just feel like, I've given my criticism of him at times. I've been petty at times, but hey, he's getting on the right track, man. The thing that bothers me about a lot of people, a lot of boxing fans, is that when guys don't get rematches, man, and they're in close fights, like, I hate that. That just drives me nuts as a competitor, because I grew up playing sports all through my youth into high school. I'm a very competitive guy, man. So if somebody beats me, right, in a competition and it's close, like we doing this shit again, bro. Like, you ain't just gonna walk away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do that again. You gonna walk away? Guess what? I'm gonna call you a punk until we get back in there and do it again. And that's one of the main reasons why I had a beef with Oscar De La Hoya. He did that a lot. He was in a lot of close fights. Never gave a guy a rematch. He gave Mosley a rematch, but that's because Mosley got the W against him. So that's the real beef that I had with Oscar back in the day. It was never about his skills. I think he's one of the best fighters I've ever seen. I mean, that jab, the left jab, the hand speed, the movement that he showed. I mean, man, the guy could do just about everything, man. It's just, again, promotion and protecting certain guys, man, is what I don't like. And I feel like Canelo's one of those guys. Like, I felt like he should have given Trout a rematch. I feel like he should have given Lara a rematch. I feel like he should have given Cotto a rematch. But they just didn't happen. Yeah,
you were pissed in the video when he didn't give Lara a rematch. You were like, I'm boycotting all Canelo fights after this until he gives him a rematch. And then you ordered the Cotto fight afterwards.
Hey, man, I can't help it, man. I'm a junkie.
No, I get it too. And like I said, man, it's good to enjoy those fights. I do think that people like Canelo are very good for boxing, and I kind of understand why the cash cow and mainstream fighters who actually are known by people, I kind of, as in a business sense, I understand why they get the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people don't know who a lot of these fighters are, and Canelo fans or just fans of other fighters who are that popular, they do come out and support and order the pay-per-views. And it's just part of boxing.
So I want to ask you this, man. Can I put you on the warm seat? I don't want to put you on the hot seat, but I'll put you on the warm seat, on the lukewarm seat. All right.
You can. Can I just make a last point real quick?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. And before you do, I just want to let you know that, I happen to think that Canelo is the easiest target in boxing as far as being able to criticize him online. Nobody else can get criticized like Canelo. You criticize certain fighters online besides Canelo, and you will get a gang of people hating on you. There's all kinds of things, but Canelo, he's safe. Other channels can, knock on him. We can knock on him, and it's fine because nobody's really here defending him. A lot of other fighters have protection, and you can't really speak as frankly as you would, or hate on them if you wanted to, without pissing a lot of people off. You can kind of, decide to go after Canelo, and there's no repercussions. But I do think that Canelo's career does speak for itself. And that's one of my last thoughts that I wanted to share with you.
No sweat, man. And I appreciate you coming on, man, and grilling me. I think I might be well done now. You can cut the fire off, But I want to ask you this, man. Since my criticism of Canelo, got you feeling some way, how do you feel about the Mexican legends that have criticized him, man?
It depends on which ones you're talking about in particular. I think that, and Marquez is my all-time favorite. I think Marquez does have a bias against Canelo. I remember back, and this is kind of loose information back in my head. When Marquez was trying to get out of one, I think he was jealous of the popularity he was getting because Marquez wasn't able to generate that kind of stuff unless it was with Pacquiao. But I remember back in the day when Marquez was trying to get out of his contract with Golden Boy, Schaefer was floating this idea of like, well, hey, you said that, if we can give you 2 fights that'll match what you might make. He's like, well, let's put you up against Canelo. I think that he's always been personally bitter, as well as Nacho. I think that certain points can be made from people who are hating that are accurate. But I also think that sometimes people just have a negative attitude towards him. But although he's changed his tune after the Kovalev fight, he did call him a great champion. That's on record. And if there's any other specific examples you want to give me, Chavez has also praised him recently. So it really depends on the kind of like what years we're talking about and who you're talking about specifically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of videos out there you could see. They criticized the hell out of him after the Lara fight. Some of them after the Triple G fight. So I mean, you just gotta look out there. You can find what they've said. I mean, if you're up to it, man, we got another 20-something minutes here. We can open up the discussion with some people in the chat if they want to join. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I guess bring them on. I mean, this is, I'm sure people might be pissed. I haven't looked at the comments, but yeah, if you want to bring them on, and you know what I mean, go for it.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link here in the chat. If anybody wants to hop on, you're more than welcome to, as long as you keep it respectful. And here's my rule. Here's my only rule. When someone's speaking, you let them speak. All right. If they're on fire, let them burn. You'll get your opportunity. I'll make sure everybody gets their chance to speak. That's all I want. I just want order because I want the discussion to happen. I feel like sometimes, on other channels that I see, people just go crazy, and they just over talk and you can't hear nothing. And it's just, I'm not into that, man. So I like to hear the discussion. Renee says, so has Nacho Berenstain. It says Chavez has praised and criticized Canelo. Oh, okay, I got you. So has Nacho. Okay. Yeah, I remember him saying after the Lara fight, he was like, this was not a good performance at all from him. He didn't look strong. He didn't want to go for the kill. And,
Yeah, you make a good point. I think he was trying. I think Lara just had excellent footwork. I mean, I saw him trying to get Lara to the corner. He just really didn't have much of an opportunity to keep him there and get some real good work in. I mean, Lara at the time was an excellent fighter. A lot of people thought that would be the kryptonite for Canelo. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from when you assess that fight.
We got a guest here. What's going on, man?
Yo, I'm just, man, can you hear me?
We got you. What you doing, man? Working?
Right. That's my thing out here, you know what I mean? There's some sheetrock and shit, you know what I mean? But
look at this guy. Hey, I got a lot of work here, man. I can hire you, bro. I got money. I'll pay you,
Sure.
Well, what's going on, brother?
Right here. I'm almost done. Yo, but I never seen Chicano so passionate and so angry.
I couldn't take it anymore, man.
He was ready, boy. He was ready. I think if he was here with me live, he might have threw a set on me.
Right. I'm proud of me. He came strong. You know what I mean? A little aggressive. And I think he had you against the rope, Gfunk. He let you off the hook a couple times. But,
I didn't want to go too hard there.
By the way, when I said you were insinuating the fight was fixed, they said no, and then you insinuated it was. You know what I mean? The same.
It's just
because
his behavior.
You can't say, well, I don't know, there was something up with Kovalev. I mean, just say what he think. Do you think he threw the fight? Yes or no?
No, but I think that.
Well, there you go.
I think that I don't know, man. That behavior afterward, because he was so angry at an Andre Ward after Andre Ward stopped him. I mean, like, why be so upset with Ward and not be upset?
No,
with
but in the Andre Ward fight, he was angry. Okay, because that fight was personal. This fight wasn't personal, right?
Well,
that was a personal fight, and he also felt he felt the ref stopped it early. He was on his feet. In this fight, he got knocked out cold. He couldn't complain about it. Like, he got beat clean. That's why. There's no conspiracy. It's a pretty logical, simple explanation.
Yeah, some people were mad that the ref didn't do a count, and I'm like, dude, that guy got knocked the fuck out.
Now that I got that out of the way, now Chicano. No, this whole you guys can't question Canelo. He could do whatever he wants, blah, blah, blah. All that, nah, bro. I'm going to keep questioning any move he makes. Okay, he fights another Rocky Fielding, I'm going to criticize him because as a boxing fan, I can criticize him if I want.
Right. No, I agree. My thing is that Canelo just doesn't have to listen, is my point.
Oh, of course not. But
it's up to him.
I'm gonna keep going in on him until we see him do something spectacular. You know, like I want to see him unify for sure. I want him to just stay somewhere, stay at one weight, and try to unify, man. But we got a couple more people here joining us. We got Renee Box Young, and we got the brother Nopal in the house. What's going on, guys? You guys are on mute.
Hey, how's it going? How you guys doing?
What's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Oh, great. Just tuning in a little bit. A few minutes ago, I was kind of busy, but I heard this hot topic on Canelo Alvarez, and I had to jump in.
Hey, when you say it, say Canelo power, bro. All right. But what's going on, man? Go ahead and chime in, man.
I agree with both you guys. You guys both have great points. Chicano Prophet, Gfunk, you guys have great points. Everybody has great points when it comes to the sport of boxing and people who are real fans of the sport, right? I guess we can say we're, hardcore fans of the sport. People bring up history. People bring up, other as far as, pound for pound fighters. For example, Chicano Prophet just mentioned a moment ago that there are also great fighters, historically speaking, who haven't necessarily fought for undisputed or haven't achieved that title status, right, of getting all the belts in a certain division. And it's respectable. I mean, it's great to put that point out. And both of you guys have great points. I would just like to add my personal opinion about Canelo. I try to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to fighters, in general. On my channel, I mean, you can go check it out. I have posted some videos about Canelo and how people have, like Chicano Prophet saying, a lot of people criticize him. But I personally, okay, one of them is Juan Manuel Marquez, right? We got Cesar Chavez Sr. We got Ignacio Beristain. We got Mikey Garcia in the recent fight. There was a fight. I remember which fight it was. Yeah, it was the Kovalev fight. Kovalev Canelo fight night. Mikey Garcia was in the commentator section being questioned being asked some questions about what he predicts in the fight. Mikey Garcia, he praised Canelo and he also criticized him in this sense that, and it was in Spanish. It was here in television, Spanish broadcasting, Mexican broadcasting. Mikey Garcia said specifically, I even took a picture of that, I remember. And he said, Canelo is a great fighter, obviously. I mean, he's amazing. He has great skills, which I always say in my channel personally. I always got to give him that props. And Mikey Garcia said, but because the commentators asked him, who do you think's going to win or whatever, right? And Mikey Garcia, yeah, he's great, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, we know that Kovalev is, out of his prime. He's older. Yes, he beat Anthony Yarde, but Anthony Yarde, he wasn't really, I don't think he was real prepared to fight a Kovalev. But, it is what it is. I mean, great win by Kovalev. But, Mikey Garcia was saying that Kovalev is out of his prime. And we know that's the thing that, Canelo has been criticized on, unfortunately. Fighting fighters out of the prime, right? Who are some? Mosley, Cotto, out of their primes, right? You had, I forgot who it was. I have the video out. I don't remember who it was, but another, that's constantly criticized about him. Mikey Garcia brought that up to light too. He wasn't saying it in a negative fashion or anything. El Gallo Estrada also recently, as a matter of fact, he was interviewed on a ESPN virtual interview, whatever, in Spanish, obviously. And, El Gallo also talked about that, how I think you guys talked about that point where, how Canelo gets, I guess he gets the advantage in fights, I guess you can say, right? When you guys are talking about the weight divisions and stuff like that, hydration clauses, things like that. So, I mean, there are things to praise and there are things to criticize about Canelo. I love him. He's an amazing fighter. He's from our territory. I'm from Jalisco, born down here. His house is near where I live. Not around the corner, no, right? But like an hour and a half away, near in Guadalajara. So, I mean, we love him down here. But, I mean, the thing here is that okay, check this out, guys, real fast. Here I live in Mexico, been living here for more than a decade. I have an insight. I trained in a boxing gym down here, sparred and all that. And the thing about it is that the perspective of Mexican fans down here, fighting fans, they love him, obviously, patriotic, of course. But the thing is that they criticize him in this sense that just like Juan Manuel Marquez, I mean, we got to respect these legends' opinions and their input because they're legends, man. Another one is Lupe Pintor. I think he was a bantamweight fighter back in the 80s. Oh, yeah. Lupe Pintor. I don't agree with Lupe Pintor all the way because I made a video on that some time ago. Lupe Pintor, he goes kind of hard on criticizing, which I don't think that's cool. He really, really criticizes him hard, but like in a disrespectful fashion. But the point of me saying all this, guys, is that we have to Ignacio Beristain, a legendary trainer. we have to respect these legends' opinions because they come from an era. You guys already know it. They come from an era where they fight their guts out. You know, they fight the best out there, and they don't like Gfunk was talking about a moment ago about, you know, I respect it, you know, but that's just what they do. Like as far as with Canelo moving to different divisions, you know, kind of, I don't want to say ducking, but you know, just not cleaning out the division. Okay. Yeah, that's debatable, controversial, whatever. But we got to respect these legends' opinions, you know, because when they say something, they're saying it from a perspective of war era boxing, right? Wartime era. Right now, we're not necessarily in that era. We're more in the era of business, right? Making money, capitalizing off the best at, what is it? Less risk, more reward, whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, I love Canelo, man. He's just amazing. I love how he fights. I think he should use a little bit more footwork and stuff like that. But I really like his upper body movement, really fast. You know, but you know, my point in saying all this, guys, you know, there are points to criticize, and there are points to praise. And I just think another thing, just real fast, I'm gonna let go. No Paul speak. But I think that unfortunately we're living in a generation where, and it's nothing to do with what Chicano Prophet is saying, no. But when it comes to like when we give constructive criticism of a fighter, we kind of think of it as hating, right? But I think it's more like it just depends on our approach, you know. It depends on our approach of how we're speaking of a fighter, right? I think it's important to, before we criticize him, we gotta highlight the good points, right? And that's my standpoint on it. It's like, you know, Canelo, he's an amazing fighter. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites, but he's up there though. He's really up there, and I love him, man. But yeah, man, I'll let the mic go, and go ahead, guys.
I have to agree with what you said, man. I love how my boy Chicano Prophet just skipped over all my prediction videos where I was speaking about how the good things that I like about Canelo and how he fights and things like that. But you know, it's all love, brother. Yeah, that's right. No, Paul Carnal, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
What's up?
Chicano Prophet, what's up?
You finally off of that?
Clearly, or what?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. I think you finally got off that Taco Bell Wi-Fi, bro.
Nah, actually, my end is sounding kind of choppy. That's why I had to log off real quick, and I don't know what's going on.
But we can hear you. We can hear you.
But as long as you guys can hear me, that's the important part. So I just wanted to go back to a point because. Yeah. Before that, let me just say, Chicano, amazing, good job, man. Good job.
Thanks, man. Gfunk was pretty easy on me.
Did a good job, man. And there was one thing that I wanted to bring up. Okay, I just wanted to bring up one point. Gfunk, you said that it's more impressive for a fighter to handle one division, right? For you.
I would like to see him do that, yes.
But I just wanted to say that that's just an excuse for, you know, a fight for somebody to duck somebody. That's just an excuse that was made up for Triple G to duck Ward, basically. You know, Ward came calling and Triple G said, well, let me take care of my division first. And that's what the fans were running with. So, you know what I mean? You could say that, but how's that even impressive, you know? You get what I'm saying?
I disagree because the Triple G, that was a different situation, man. That was a completely different situation. For me, like I could see, like, because Triple G and them said, well, you know, we'll fight anybody from 154 to 168. So Ward's like, well, what's good? Let's get this thing on. And it's like, oh, well, you know, we want to unify here first, you know, at 160. As were with Kovalev, there was literally no smoke between him and Canelo. It just happened. Canelo's like, hey, I want to fight Kovalev. You know, like,
so
it just kind of happened.
Was a one-off situation?
It was. As where there was a little bit of heat.
Because you know what? If you take a poll, I bet you people are gonna say, well, you know, if somebody from 154 is really good, you know, and he wants to fight Canelo, let's do it at 160. And same goes if somebody wants to fight at 168, which there's hella fighters. There's just so many possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, if
that weight.
Yeah, if that fighter says like Triple G and his team said they will fight anybody in those three divisions. Now, if somebody that's in a lower weight class says, you know what, I want to fight this guy who's one division above me, and I can make the weight, then hey, there's no excuse at that point. Then you got to do it. Like when Chad Dawson, I remember they were using the Chad Dawson thing as an excuse. The Kovalev fans for trying to discredit Andre Ward by saying, well, he brought him up, he brought him down to weight drain him. But the guy said himself after he beat Hopkins, I can make 168. I want to fight Andre Ward. I'll fight him at 168. So like, what? There's no excuse there at that point, you know.
Oh, so now you're defending Ward, bro? Damn. Here we go. Come on, Gfunk. Why
What do
does
you
it
mean?
always gotta be like that? You're being biased right in our faces, bro. You
About
got
what?
all these arguments for other fighters, but for Canelo, you always gotta go the other way around. Let me.
Well, hold on. Where is the issue here with I gave Canelo his credit for the win against Kovalev. I said it wasn't
not
fixed.
Even real credit, bro, because you say like, okay, well, technically won, but no, I got all this other stuff to say about it. It's not real credit, man. If you want to give credit, give him credit.
Hey, I said it. I said, hey, he's on the right track. I said he's on the right track. I gave him his credit for the Jacobs win. I gave him his credit for the Kovalev win. I mean, I said he's on the right track. I mean, what else you want me to do? I'm not going to break out the knee pads. I just don't do that. So I mean, that's not going to happen.
No,
here.
I get it. But
Chicano
Prophet brought up a good ass point, bro. You have a hard on for Golden Boy, and that hate just went to Canelo, bro, for some reason. What's up with that, man?
Oh, this guy. Nah, let me just say this,
that, bro.
Hey, what about
intervention, Gfunk?
What about when I said that I like Virgil Ortiz and that they should put the weight of the company on his shoulders? Is he not a Golden Boy fighter?
Well, yeah, I guess, but I mean,
all right. It's just not the one. It's just not the one you want me to say it. That's all.
Okay, I can give you a little credit for that, but there's something there, bro. You got a problem with Canelo because he's the star of the company and all that,
My only problem with the guy is this,
and it might be the light-skinned thing too, Chicano Prophet.
I didn't want to say it, you know what I mean? But yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a light-skinned. You know what? Let me just tell everybody. I've noticed that in our culture, there seems to be some kind of complex that people have with the lighter-skinned people for some reason, and some of us happen to be a little more light-skinned, and we've grown up with this, and you grow up and see how people look at you a little different, No,
here's what I'll say to that. Are you? I'm sorry. Are you finished, or you want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Here's what I'll say to that. I don't have a issue with his skin color. That's not an issue.
Well, yeah, like anybody would ever accept that.
My thing is this. No, but let me explain. Now, the general thing is this, right? People will say, well, I mean, it's an obvious thing in Mexico. The more light you are, you get treated better. That's an obvious. Anybody that's ever been there will tell you that. Anybody that's ever lived there.
Yeah, I attest to that. I attest to that. Don't mean to interrupt. I've been here for more than a decade. I agree with Gfunk.
That's a well-known fact. So, for me personally, I do have an issue with that, but that's not Canelo's fault. Like he didn't apply that rule to Mexico. He didn't do that himself. Not only that, I mean, our culture, like you said, we've always been multicolored. I mean, yeah, the majority of us were dark-skinned pre-Columbus. But if you go down there and you do a little research, and I've done the research on it, you look at those temples down there in Mexico and Central South America, you'll see not all of them were that dark. Not all of them were the same color, man. They're all multicolors. They're dark brown. There's light brown. There's some very light. There's some very light images there. But the fact that, again, the guy, he gets the good treatment because of his skin color. That's just a fact, bro. I mean, I don't like it, but it's not his fault. It's helped his career, has it not?
You know what I want to say too is like we should all just try to back all our fighters up equally like this, and hope that they all get the privilege, because you see how far. Imagine how far Juan Manuel Marquez would have went with Canelo's, with that type of backing and privilege. You know what I mean? He could have probably been undefeated because the one fight where he had problems with Floyd, people don't realize this, but a fight like that, Floyd would have never took it under those kind of conditions. He would have probably backed out if somebody would have tricked him on the way in, something like that. He would have backed out. And, they wouldn't have let him put his undefeated streak on the line for something like that. That's just.
Probably, but that's that will.
I mean, neither here nor
yeah,
there, but
we'll never know. Yeah, we'll never know.
We should all just try to back our fighters up a little more, and not focus about,
I mean, here's the thing.
Color.
When things happen that I don't like, it's just my nature to speak on it, man. And I don't like the way that they gave him his title with Matthew Hatton. I don't like the way
that was in a different weight class. That was like in the developmental stages of his career.
But it happened.
Tell me they didn't do that to Triple G.
Let
me just compare him to Triple G right now. His first chance was an vacant interim WBA. The next belt in line was another vacant, and the regular belt. The next one in line was another vacant.
But here's the thing, man. Like, you don't see me praising Triple G.
The next one after that was another vacant.
But here's the thing: you don't see me praising Triple G for.
I don't see you complaining about him either.
I talk shit about him all the time,
right there.
No,
when you complain about Canelo. There's a long list of fighters that you should be complaining about before you complain about Canelo. Really,
brother. I'll send you some videos.
Big ass list, bro.
I'll send you some videos of me criticizing Triple G, bro. I am nowhere near a Triple G fan. But D-Style, you want to say something, bro?
First, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Check out. Okay. This whole us Mexicans need to support the Mexican fight. Have you guys not seen the fact that Mexicans do support Mexican fighters? That's already a thing, bro. Okay. That's why there's a packed arena for Canelo. A lot of those are Mexican Americans, bro, or from Mexico, right? Right. There's already that, right? But what I'm not going to do, no, Paul, is turn the blind eye to anything a Mexican fighter does just because he's Mexican. Right. I ain't going to do that, right? I'm going to call shit fair and down the line. Period. I don't give a damn if what examples you give me. Because there is a lot of biased Mexican fans, bro. Like, there's a lot of them. We have them in abundance. There's a shitload of them. A lot of them are my uncles, right? This whole, this idea that Canelo is not getting enough, backing and there's too much, this and that, bro. At the end of the day, the guy does whatever the fuck he wants anyway. It's not like he's listening to D-Style Boxing when I'm on YouTube and shit. Right. However, we have to give an accurate assessment of these fighters, right? And not only that, if I come on YouTube and I am just blatantly biased towards Canelo, and no matter what Canelo does, I side with him no matter what, people are going to see through that bias, right? So whenever I try to give an honest assessment, no one's going to know if I'm being honest. They're not going to know if I'm just being biased or what. You know what I mean? So, look, I've been giving Canelo a lot of credit. I'll defend him when it's necessary to defend him, but I'll criticize him when it's necessary to criticize him. Simple as that. Oh, really quick. I'm not sure where you were going with it, no, Paul. The whole Mexicans have a complex towards light skin. I'm not sure where you were going with that, but the reality is this. Are there some Mexicans, it's not a big amount, but are there some that don't like him just because he's light-skinned? Probably. I don't know. I've never met one, right? Okay, but let's say there is. The reality is everybody knows, right? And listen to me very closely. Everyone knows that if Canelo Alvarez looked like Juan Manuel Marquez, he wouldn't have been a superstar at 8'17" in Mexico before he beat nobody, okay? He hadn't beaten anybody. He was a superstar, right? Now, granted, he's good, so that has a lot to do with it. He's very talented. But you said to yourself, look at Marquez had no support. Marcus had no praise. Marcus had no backing. Even Julio Cesar Chavez didn't have all the love of all of Mexico until around the Maldrick Taylor fight, right? So I want you to think about that. Canelo's had it easy, bro. I know a lot. I know, like, you guys are like, man, he's had it tough. They're so hard on him. Poor guy. They keep criticizing him, but he's had it easy, actually. Canelo hasn't had it hard. He just hasn't.
Yes,
right?
he has. And that's the main reason why I've said what I said early on, man. It's just, it is what it is, man. I mean, I know you guys don't like it, but I mean, I have the same stance as D-Style, man. Like, I support my people. I love my people. I've done a lot of work in my community with my people. But when it comes to boxing, man, like, it's boxing. You know, this is not life or death, you know? So I'm just going to call it as it is. If I see bullshit, I'm going to call it bullshit, man. So that's always been my stance, man. No, Paul, you want to reply? No, Paul, you there, brother?
Probably mute.
Can I say something in a moment?
Yeah, no, I respect you guys' opinion. You know, I basically said what I had to say, and you know, great show, guys.
It's all love, brother. You know, it's all love. I mean, you could be a big Canelo fan. I've never had an issue with people being Canelo fans. It's just when it goes too far is when I have an issue. You know.
I'm a Canelo fan, bro. I know Chicano Prophet and No Paul probably don't believe it, but I'm a Canelo fan. What are you saying?
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Gfunk and D-Style, you guys are saying it pretty much 100. I mean, that's the stance I take. I mean, you know, we cannot negate nor escape the fact that okay, real quick. I pushed a video some time ago, I think a few weeks ago, about what I referred to a moment ago, that El Gallo Estrada was interviewed. Amongst the many things he was talking about, one of those things he did say is this. It's very clear. El Gallo Estrada knows the business, obviously, of boxing. And he said the same thing what you guys are saying. And that's why I brought it out in that video, that I wanted to put that out to light, that he said that, yeah, I mean, Canelo, he's had it pretty easy compared to, you know, most fighters coming up, you know, as far as what we're talking about, what you guys are talking about, the context of what you guys are talking about. You know, obviously Canelo is an amazing fighter. I always say that. Skilled, definitely. But yes, you know, his looks, his nice, you know, baby faced looks and you know, complexion has helped him a lot, you know, and it's marketing. We got to understand. Ryan Garcia is one of the next ones. I actually made a video some time ago, a while ago, more than a year ago, I think, about Ryan Garcia possibly surpassing Canelo, because Ryan has all the wonderful characteristics. It's talking about, you know, the cosmetically speaking. I think he's one of the best. I think one of the next big up and comers in Golden Boy, if Golden Boy doesn't leave. I'm sorry, if Ryan Garcia doesn't leave Golden Boy, right? But Ryan Garcia does have a lot of potential, though. He has skills. I think he's one of the up and comers that's going to really. What happened?
Hey, Renee, I'm just gonna warn you, man. You might be the next one on the hot seat, bro. Saying something like that Ryan Garcia is gonna take over Canelo's spot.
No. Okay, wait. I gotta. I'm not gonna get into much Ryan Garcia, but more. I'm talking about more like the marketing aspect. Ryan Garcia. Well, we already see it already. That's the aspect I'm talking about. Not legacy. No, not legacy wise. No. Marketing. Yes. I mean, we already see it in Instagram, Twitter, and all that. You know, so the pretty face. You know, the young boy look, and you know, nice and handsome. I mean, we gotta understand that's really blowing up for him. So yeah, I think Canelo, he has had it quite easy compared to other Mexican fighters. You know, historically speaking. But man, I love Canelo though, man. He's awesome. You know, so man. By
the way, he ain't going nowhere with that chin up in the air, bro. He's getting knocked out in the next few fights.
But the thing here is he's okay. Look, this is how I see Ryan Garcia right now, as we speak, as of now. He doesn't have too long with Eddie Reynoso, so I'm sure Eddie's going to teach him a lot of things. He has a lot to learn. He has a whole lot to learn, you know. So yeah, I'm sure he's going to deal with that chin situation sooner than later. He has to. If Eddie Reynoso doesn't connect that, D-Style's totally right. Ryan Garcia is going to get knocked out really soon if Eddie Reynoso doesn't connect that. But Eddie Reynoso, he knows what he's doing. I'm sure he's on the right track, you know. So we'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah, and I mean, Gfunk, you know, for being such a big Canelo hater, you know, I've spent hundreds of dollars on this guy's fights. Hundreds of dollars. Every time he's fought on pay-per-view, I've bought it. I didn't boycott it like I said I was. I was a little emotional after that fight, but I bought all of his fights. I'm always there, except for the ones on DAZN, obviously, because that's a subscription thing. But I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but I mean, early on in this guy's career, I remember he was fighting on undercards, and he was beating guys that he should have just been beating because they were just journeyman and things like that. He's beating the guys like Alfonso Gomez is, and I mean, people were praising this guy like he was the next best thing, and I'm like, guys, like, can we take it easy here? Like, this is just Alfonso Gomez,
Well, in all fairness, Gfunk, I was one of those people saying he's going to be the next big thing. All right, because the eye test has always been there with Canelo. I mean, he's always been a very talented fighter. You know what I mean? You could see it. At just 19 years old, some of the things he was doing in the ring was very impressive. So, and one of the reasons I kind of get mad a little bit when I'm called the Canelo hater is that, dude, I was talking about Canelo on YouTube before anybody, right? I was watching this dude on Televisa before he was on the undercard of the Mosey Mayweather fight, right? And nobody knew who Saul Canelo Alvarez was. You know what I mean? So I was one of those guys, though. I will admit, right? I was one of those guys saying, and I think I was right.
That was a very easy thing to see, man. To be honest with you, my cousin was one of those same guys too. Around the same time, he was saying, "I think this guy is going to be a big star," and I mean, I didn't disagree with him. I said, because I look at it. I mean, I know what's going on as far as a promotion and things like that, but I look at it as more as a competition. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, he knocked out Gomez, but like he's supposed to. Like let's see progress. Let's see him get better. And move on and things like that. No, Paul, you bounce back in, bro. You got anything? We're gonna cut it here real soon because we got fights going on at ESPN. But you want to give some final thoughts? You there, brother?
No, just the only thing I wanted to say again is I think it's much better like he's doing, because you have the possibility of fighting better BF. You have the possibility of can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, you're good, bro.
Oh, okay. Like I said, he has the possibility of fighting better Bev. He has the possibility of fighting Bivol, which he probably won't fight Bivol, But, he has the possibility of fighting all these guys that are dangerous, you know what I mean? As opposed to just staying in one weight class. And you know how hard it is to unify with all these different sanctioning bodies and all their rules. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, if we just go back to Deryevchenko situation, I mean, he offered Deryevchenko $6 million for that fight. Triple G stepped in there and offered him 5.5, and the guy picks Triple G instead of Canelo, which tells you, and then the IBF allows them to do that. Why DAZN allowed that conflict of interest to happen is beyond me. I guess they just wanted to give Triple G a belt. But what I'm saying is basically, it's kind of hard to unify, and sometimes those belts don't even matter, really. It's really about fighting the best,
Well,
that's what it really comes down to.
That's true. The belts don't mean nothing these days, man.
For example, if Fury decides to drop all the belts or whatever, or Joshua decides to vacate those, we know who the best is, really.
Yeah, but there is smoke for him, man. Especially at 160, he's got some smoke there, and these are fights I think he could win, man. Like I think he could beat Andrade. I think he could beat Charlo. I think he could beat Deryevchenko. Like I just want to see it. Like, I'm not just gonna write it off just because I think he's gonna.
Well, you know what?
I think he could win.
Waste of time to fight those guys, though. Really, if you really think about it, it'd be
because people consider those guys.
Impressive.
People consider those guys the real deal at 160. So it would be impressive for me if he beat those guys. Not so much Deryevchenko because he hasn't done shit really.
I'd rather see him fight those guys.
He ain't fighting those guys. He might fight Plant, but he ain't fighting Beterbiev.
Nah.
He ain't fighting
I think
Beterbiev.
Plant would be a extremely easy fight. I think that would be an easy fight. I think.
How about
I think Billy Joe Saunders would be an easy fight.
I think a better. I think
Even Benavidez.
I think a better question for Nopal is what isn't an easy fight. Everybody's an easy fight when it comes to Canelo.
Yeah, you know what, man? I heard Canelo sparring with heavyweights, bro. Nah.
Hey, I heard he knocked out Andre the Giant one time, bro. No. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing, man. We got fights on right now. Renee, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you, man. And we got to do a video soon, brother.
Oh yeah. I was gonna tell you that. Yeah, we're gonna chop it up soon, man. We'll get it live soon. I already got the brainstorming topics already, man. I'll get you on the email. Thank you, guys. Hey, Chicano Prophet, Nopal, D-Style, all you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gfunk. Peace out, guys.
No sweat, man. Anytime.
All right, Renee. See you, Chicano. All right.
Later.
All right, brother. You take care, Nopal. Well, Chicano, you put me on the hot seat, so I'm gonna give you the last word here, man. Go ahead.
Thanks, man. Well, I appreciate letting me put you on the hot seat. It was good fun. I appreciate you letting me on the show. It's always good to talk about the 5-time pound for pound future Hall of Famer and the guy who's been carrying Mexican boxing on his back for at least 5 years. And if I forgot anything, Gfunk, you can let me know. So once again, man, I'm very happy that this happened. I like that you have your opinions, man. I think we're all entitled to them. So yeah, we're all fans of the sport. We should try to remember that we're all fans. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I love it, man. Anytime you guys want to come on and grill me, that goes for you too, Nopal. Go ahead, start making some notes, and I'll get you on, man. It's no problem. I always have open invitation, and that goes for anybody else that's listening too, man. You guys are always welcome to come on, as long as we keep it respectful, man. That's all I ask. So, with that, I'm gonna end this thing, man. We're gonna go watch some fights. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're out.